As you probably know by now, Johnny Sexton has been given a ban for the um, abuse he threw at the ref after the Champions Cup final, basically. And it has sparked much a debate as to whether the ban is justified, whether it's too long, too short, just right, whatever. I'm going to give you my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. I have also put out a poll. I only put it out this morning, so there's not that many votes on it yet. I'll cover it slightly last time I checked and stuff. So basically, if you don't know, Johnny Sexton, Leinster and Ireland, number 10, one of the best 10s in the world at the minute. After Leinster's loss of the Champions Cup final to La Rochelle back in May, he basically said that the ref did a crap job. Basically what he said. A little bit different to that, but that's kind of what he said. And he's been given a 3-match ban for it, which I've taken now. This news actually broke about a day ago about the ban, but I've taken a bit of time to think about it and see my opinion on it because I see both sides to the argument. I get that he's just a man. He was in a high emotion situation. He would have been very disappointed that his team just blew the final like Leinster did. You know, sometimes you do say things that you don't mean when you're angry. Everyone does. I do, you will have. But I also know that rugby should be and is known to be a much more respectful sport where the officials in the middle should, and they used to, it's slipping, it is slowly slipping, but they used to be well respected. You know, the referee made a decision, that was final, you know, you'd move on. Also, the reason why many people call the ref sir is because of that respect that is built in the sport, as it is known to be a respectful sport. And I can see that they will want to keep that because it is one of rugby's benefits. I'm trying to think of the right word here. You know what I mean? One of its good things that draws a lot of people in is how respectful they are towards the officials. And both players and fans, which, as I said, it is slipping slightly. I'm not pointing fingers or anything, but in general, I think it is slipping. Now, obviously, the refs are just human. They are men and women in the middle. They have to make decisions like that. Yes, they're highly trained, but they are humans. They will make mistakes, as we all do. We've got to move on. I like when the ref makes a mistake. It adds a bit of thing to the game. Okay, it's annoying when it goes against you. I know what it's like as a Scotland fan to have dodgy ref decisions go against you. But, you know, I think as a rugby fan, it adds a bit to the game. You know, it creates talking points as well, which is good. More talking points for rugby is good. I think, you know, the publicity, any publicity is good publicity, is what I've heard. You know, let me think. I go back to the 2015 quarter final. As a Scotland fan, when you see dodgy ref decisions, that's what gets me. Now, I don't agree. I still, to this day, would argue with anyone that it was not a penalty. But I accepted that it was given. Australia got it over, and fair play to them. They won, went on, beat Argentina, and made the final. Now, we all know what happened in the final, but they made the final. And yes, I'm sitting here going, what if? But that's not going to change it. There's no point moaning about the if. Yes, I wasn't happy, but we move on. And I think that's what they need to do. I think that's what rugby's all about, instead of other sports. Again, I'm not going to point fingers. Which is more blaming the ref for their loss instead of stepping back and going, maybe my team just wasn't good enough, or maybe the other team was just better. And I think in Leinster's case, it was a mix of both. They had a massive start, died off, and La Rochelle pushed right back at the end to win it. Basically, what happened. Leinster threw it, La Rochelle won it. And so, yeah, he's been given a 3-match ban for hurling abuse at the ref. Now that 3-match ban bans him for, what is it, England, Italy and Samoa, I want to say. The 3 pre-World Cup fixtures that Ireland are playing. I think it's England, Italy and Samoa. I could be wrong though. So basically it's going to be about the World Cup. And many people are saying that the 3-match ban is too short. And to be honest with you, I probably agree to an extent. Going off history and stuff, this has happened a few times before. I think back to when Dylan Hartley, the old England captain, got suspended for similar things, and he got an 11-game ban. So, it seems a bit harsh on him that you gave him 11 and Johnny Sexton 3. But then, I can't tell you exactly what they both said, so I don't know if maybe he said worse things. I don't know, they insulted the ref's mother or something. I don't know. I couldn't tell you sitting here, I couldn't tell you exactly the words that he said. So maybe it was justified, maybe it wasn't. Johnny Sexton's, I think it should have been a little bit longer, if I'm going to be honest. Taking all my Scotland bias out of it, wanting one of Ireland's best players out of the World Cup, so that we have a better chance in the pool, because let's be honest, we need every help we can get. I think, just to prove that no matter how big a name you are, he's one of the biggest players in one of the biggest teams in the world. He's one of the most well-known players. He's one of the best players in the world. And I think they should have, and I think that might have imposed a little bit on it. I think they brought it down due to that, due to the fear of the backlash they would have got if he was to miss the World Cup. And I think they were scared. Now, unfortunately, what I think they forgot was it's only the Ireland fans that really cared if he missed the World Cup. Me as a Scotland fan, yes, okay, I like Ireland and I want to see them do well, but I'm not too bothered. I guess if it was Finn Russell, I'd be pretty annoyed, but it's not. So, and again, if Finn Russell was to miss it, an Ireland fan, they might be a bit bummed. They might be going, "Oh, I wanted Scotland to do well," but they wouldn't. They'd just be going, "Oh, it makes Scotland easier to beat then for us because they're in our pool." And I'm not saying that does, because I know Ross Byrne and that, they're still brilliant tens. So I'm not saying that, but I think they've got to look at it. I personally would have seen maybe I wanted him to see, I was thinking 5 to 7 games instead of 3. So, maybe miss the first couple of games of World Cup, but I think, he'd be back for the Scotland game, the last game. I don't know when they play in the box. I know it's not first, because Scotland's playing the box first. I couldn't tell you quite. I could tell you Scotland's schedules, but I couldn't really tell you the other teams. So that's what I would have seen. 5 to 7 games, I think, is kind of the golden spot. That's what I would have given him. 3, I think, seems a little bit too lenient. Anything above 7, maybe a bit too harsh. They have gone with 3, which I think is on the lenient side personally. Again, I can see both sides of the argument. I think they did need to take action. As I said, they need to hold this. Everyone respects the referee. They need to keep that, because it's a crucial part of rugby. That what is it? Rugby's the only sport that a 6'4", 125 kilo New Zealand fellow can turn to a small referee and say, "Sorry, sir," something like that. I don't know, it's a joke or a saying or something that goes along the lines of that. But the message it's trying to say is that everyone respects it, no matter how big you are compared to the ref. You look at refs and usually they're not quite as built as the players. You look at Nigel Owens, he's tiny compared to someone like Sam Whitelock call it Ebenezer, that if they would eat him for breakfast if they wanted to. And I know I'm starting to ramble a little bit, but you get my side of the story. Ooh. Sorry, I adjusted the camera. Yes, I'm yet to paint my wall. You can see the lovely flowers, yes, and then the big Edinburgh flag. I wasn't hiding it, it's just I like the Scotland flag behind me. There is an Edinburgh one there, and then there's a Glasgow one up there. Okay, yeah, and I've got the World Cup shirt if you've not seen my shorts about it. Yeah, if you've enjoyed, subscribe. Let me know what you think on this whole palaver. That's my thoughts. Let me know if you agree, disagree, if I'm being too harsh, I'm being too lenient, if they were being too harsh, if they were being too lenient. Let me know. And if you enjoyed, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.